I've done it. I've gone live.
Oh, fantastic. Fantastic news.
Yes, I thought it would be.
I feel more alive already. I
Oh, what's
am
that like?
my band first, right? That's what
Yes, your band
okay.
first. That is correct.
Very good.
Um, hmm.
Hmm.
I was gonna get the I was gonna get the albums up for your band. There's
Okay,
just
that's
no
what. Yeah, there's no
there's no
pages.
yeah, I was like, oh, let me grab these, and there's just nothing. That's fine. All right. Well then you know what, man? Let's just jump in.
Let's do it. 3, 2, 1.
With Totem Talks and we're a podcast. Yeah, we're Totem Talks and Music Podcast. What am I supposed to do when the Totem Talks is run out on you? Oh,
You didn't want to do one from the first group?
no. There's one song that I could do, and it's not their song.
Oh, okay. Yeah, fair enough.
There's one song on that third album that I went,
I know
I've
this.
heard this song
Well,
a
there was one
lot.
on the first album too, but I'll get to that. But
Yeah.
no, for the same reason, I do not know any original songs by that band well enough to sing that for the intro.
I'm not surprised. Welcome in, everybody, to another episode of Totem Talks. This is season 8, episode 18. And it's finally happened. We've gone Hollywood.
It was bound to happen.
We jumped
Everyone's
the
been
shark.
saying it.
We totally, I mean, there's a
this is
shark,
our jump.
jumped right over it.
Yeah. Yeah, this is our moment.
Oh, man. Nick, before we get into all that,
Yeah. Yeah.
how are you doing?
Pass. Is that an option?
That's
Is
an
that something
option.
we do
That's
here?
that's an option, and I feel that.
Okay, good.
But
Excellent.
I'm going to tell you, if you just in case you may be unfamiliar with the process here,
Yeah,
you've only
I don't
been
know.
doing it for 8 seasons.
I have no idea what's happening. at
Right.
all.
So this is a music-based podcast where you and I,
Mhm.
are determining the greatest musical artist of all time.
Right, right, right.
We've hit a couple no names already: the Beatles, Elton John, Taylor Swift.
Yeah, well, sure.
Yeah, we covered
They
them.
run
at points.
together.
Yeah, all so similar.
Really.
But today, the real question gets asked, Nick, as it does every week.
That's right.
And that's, did we find the greatest musical artist of all time this week?
No.
Great
I feel
episode.
really confident in saying no.
I mean, I understand completely.
And that really 99% of the time says absolutely nothing about how I'm going to feel about all these albums.
Of course not. It's all based on the fact that, the real story, right? Isn't the real story that there is no greatest musical artist of all time?
I think we might be getting around to that. I think
It's
we're almost there.
Listen, at the end of the day, this is a subjective opinion, backed by years of valid science.
I am going to take the word valid out of there, and also science.
Okay.
But then I agree with you.
Okay, cool. So vibes. We're basing it on vibes.
I mean, we have our own scientific method, our Totem Talk scientific method, which is not scientific, but it is a method, and we do try to stick to it pretty closely.
You know what? That part is all very true. There is science in what we're doing, whether or not it's valid or not. And I agree with that. Now, I need you to do me one more favor, Nick.
Of course.
I need you to describe to me your favorite snack, but also tell me about the bands we're doing today. I think they're one and the same for one of them.
A snack. It really depends on what you mean by a snack. Can I pass again?
You can pass.
I'm going to pass on the snack. I'll come back to that. I'll probably say it at some point randomly. when it hits me. But the bands that we covered were the Bacon Brothers, as in Kevin, and The Script. So very Hollywood today.
Very Hollywood today. Also, shout out Michael Bacon, another
Yes,
the
he
other
is the other
Bacon
Bacon.
man,
And he has a very interesting story himself.
and a very interesting voice.
We'll get there.
We will get there. Just had to throw that out immediately. What's up? Good evening, Keith. I see you.
Oh, hello. Welcome.
Okay. With all that being said, let's just go right in, right? I think you're ready. I'm ready.
I'm ready.
So let's say the Bacon Brothers.
Right.
They are an American music duo consisting of brothers Michael and Kevin Bacon.
I knew it.
Michael Bacon, a prominent music composer.
Yes.
Kevin Bacon, you may have seen him in a few movies. He's been in a couple movies throughout,
yes, he has.
being an A-list Hollywood celebrity.
Yeah, one or two. Most notably, I think the Guardians of the Galaxy holiday special.
Honestly, I was trying my best to think of a Kevin Bacon movie from the last like 5 or so years.
That's the one I thought of.
Yeah, that's a good one. It's a good. Well, I don't know if it's a good one, but it's a good.
It is an example of a thing that he was in.
Yeah, that's what it is. You've done it. Let's see. I'm gonna just read his last one before I get into the rest of the blurb.
Yeah, sure. I'm interested.
He was in a movie. This can't be real. This is real.
It's not sounding good.
Apparently, in 2024, there was another Beverly Hills Cop in 2024.
Didn't need that.
Beverly Hills Cop Axel F. Apparently, he was Captain Cade Grant in that.
Okay.
And then he was in a movie called The Best You Can that came out this year, a rom-com.
I believe that. I believe everything about it.
And those are the only Kevin Bacon movies we'll discuss.
Unless the River Wild comes up organically.
Great point. Great point. All right. So we covered the Bacon Brothers. We covered 3 albums by the Bacon Brothers. And they are, and I quote, Forosoko, which came out in 1997. We followed that up with White Knuckles from 2005.
That's right.
And then Ballad of the Brothers from 2024.
Yes. And I will start.
Please do.
With Forosoko. So here's the thing about this album. You have to understand what the title means to kind of get their vibe. And it took me a little while. I was like halfway through when it occurred to me to figure this out. So do you know what it means?
I don't.
Okay. Forosoko is their genre. And it's the first 2 letters of every genre that they incorporate in their sound. They are folk, rock, soul, country.
Okay.
And that is where it all comes from.
I like that. That's clever.
It's cool. And that is largely what you get here. I mean, it's like acoustic driven. A lot of the songs are more acoustic driven. You can hear that it's the 90s. Like it does sound like almost like a blues traveler vibe, but like Tom Petty influence. Like it's got that kind of the Heartland sound to it. One thing that they do really well is vocal harmony. Gray Green Eyes is a really good example of that. But there were a lot of songs about eye colors, about eyes.
Brown eyes.
Like they had too many eyes and women songs back to back to back to back when there were enough songs on this album to spread them out. Yeah. And so that was strike one. But it's a likable album. I think the songs are enjoyable. The vocals are decent. The lyrics could be a little cringy at times. But it's just missing a little something. Like there's a lot to like. There's a lot to like here, including their cover of Rainy Day Man by JT, James Taylor.
Yes.
And I don't know if it's Michael Bacon or if it's Kevin, who sounds a little like James Taylor sometimes. Like if James Taylor was just less good.
It is Kevin.
It's Kevin who sounds like James Taylor.
So Kevin does the lion's share of the singing.
Okay.
And yes, it is Kevin.
So you notice that he also kind of sounds like James Taylor, right?
I especially heard that on Rainy Day Man.
Yeah.
That kind of like made it click in my head a little bit.
Yeah. And that another example of a song that had really good harmony. I think my biggest issue with them is that they don't have the vocal power. Like, they're decent. They're really good with harmonies, but neither one of them has the range to like build the song up to a crescendo and hit a big point with it. And that's I think the biggest drawback to a lot of the songs on this record, which have a lot of good things going for them.
Sure. Let me just I want to tell one of our commenters, a
Sure,
young
sure.
Keith. The Bacon Brothers have 10 albums, which will blow your mind.
That's true.
He said, today I learned the Bacon Brothers have 3 albums. Try 10.
No, that's just
anyway.
Taste.
So yeah, I'll talk a bit about For Soko. I agree with a lot of what you're saying. The vibe that I totally get is talented musical people
Totally
doing a side project.
100%.
And that's all it is. And it doesn't feel deeper than that on this album. You know, but I was impressed by a lot of it. Mm-hmm. And I will say that I learned Michael Bacon's profession.
Yeah, he is a music professor, and he is a composer for television and film.
Right.
So he's like a very legitimate musician. He's very good.
I was unaware of his game going into this. I knew Kevin Bacon. I knew he could kind of sing. I've heard him sing.
Sure.
And so I knew he had vocals ish.
Right.
And I was like, okay, so it's going to probably be like simple and good. And it was more than that. The compositions were really good, but they were light. They were light, as you mentioned. They were a little empty sounding. Mm-hmm. But it was a much better start than I was expecting. And honestly, the album title makes perfect sense to how much I enjoyed it genre wise, because I'm like, this is like right up my alley in terms of genre. Makes perfect sense because folk, rock, soul, and country, you might as well have written my name under it. Like, right? You and me could have written our names under that and been like stamp of approval. And I think for the most part, it was really good. I also really like the fact that, you know, they're writing these songs other than the James Taylor song. Like, that was not what I was expecting.
Okay, yeah, you thought it was just going to be like covers and stuff.
I was expecting,
like, just for fun.
Right, like I was expecting a side project where they're like covering like blues songs, because I've heard the Bacon Brothers, like I heard like a YouTube video of them when somebody was like, "Oh, Kevin Bacon can sing," and I was like, cool. And I heard like a bluesy sound, but I just assumed they were doing like popular covers, like standards or something like that. Not at all.
Nope.
And like, you were totally right. Some of the lyrics can get a little bit cringy.
Yeah.
They have the tendency to go right on the nose a bit.
Yeah. I think that's the issue.
It is what it is. Now, I'm going to move us on, and I'm going to take us into White Knuckles. And I think White Knuckles is a little different than For Soko in a couple ways, but also a little similar to For Soko in one big way. I think the compositions have elevated a little bit. There's a little more variance to them. I think that vocally they're still decent, both decent.
Yeah.
Michael Bacon has a very unique singing voice.
Sure.
It's not great.
No.
He's not the better singer.
No.
He's the better all-around musician, I'm sure, just based on his profession and career and everything. But he's not the better singer. That would go to Kevin. But I thought that these songs elevated slightly lyrically. There were very clear times where they still have the kind of right on the nose effect, but it was much more emotive and less like scripted is basically the best way to say it. The one that stuck out for me was Tuesday.
Okay.
So Tuesday is not metaphorical at all. It is very descriptive of literally a day.
Tuesday.
And as he's describing the day, and he's like, it should have just been a normal Tuesday, but instead it's the day you broke my heart, which is such a cliche line for me to just say. But in the song, it like really worked. And I was
Sure.
not expecting it to work that well. However, I will say still the big thing kind of missing so far from this group for me, the songs just sound a little hollow.
Hmm.
They just sound just a bit hollow. And I will say the other thing that I see on this album, Michael Bacon is almost exclusively writing the songs for this album, not Kevin. It's like the first album was a good slash
Mixture.
of Kevin and Michael Bacon.
Mhm.
This one is all Michael. I don't even see Kevin Bacon's name on the writing
Right.
credits. Which, fair, he's busy. He's a
Yeah,
busy
he
guy.
is a busy guy.
So,
Okay. So one of the differences to spell it out, I noticed this album was a lot more plugged in than the first one. Not that there wasn't electric guitar on the
yeah.
first album, but there's more of it here and less acoustic. The other things that are the same is that it's played very ably, that
Yeah.
all of the songs are pleasant to listen to. And again, it just was solidified here. Like, yes, this album is different. Yes, the music is still good. Yes, everything's played well. It sounds clean. But neither one of them has the vocal range to have a climactic moment that the song builds to. And, not every band does. And other bands still have great songs without that. But you need to write something into the music that builds up to that climax
lets you
for you.
do that.
And I felt like all the songs kind of found a good, nice sounding place and sat there from beginning to end. I didn't feel like these songs developed all the way through as much. And I think that's really the element that this group is missing, because they have the talent, they have the good sounding songs, they have a variety of genres that they're pulling from. They're trying different things with instrumentation.
I mean,
But
shout out to the Bacon brothers in particular, though, for their, like, we'll talk more about it when we score them. They're each playing like 5 instruments.
Yeah, they're both definitely super talented guys.
It's not at all what I expected.
Yeah.
I really I want to be so clear here. Like, I didn't know the Bacon brothers like as a musical group.
Sure. No.
I was expecting like Michael Bacon to be doing the lion's share of music parts of this and Kevin Bacon to be holding a guitar and sing. Like, but on this album, like Kevin Bacon is credited with the 6-string and 12-string guitars, the congas, a djembe, a dumbeck, a harmonica. Like, what?
Oh, and also this album, the cover on this album was "If I Needed Someone" by the Beatles.
Yeah.
And it was solid. It was a solid version of the song. I got to say that. But I'm just going to move on to Ballad of the Brothers. And first of all, the YouTube playlist that you can find this album on can go fuck itself.
You are kidding me. Wait, hold on. That's really funny that you said that, because I could only find this album on YouTube Music, and the first 2 albums I had to find on YouTube playlists.
Interesting. So I was
That's
just
really
so
funny.
Annoyed. Why I was annoyed by it is I'm trying to work, right? I'm in the office while I'm listening to this, and I'm busy with stuff, but I'm listening to the songs and taking notes. And every song, like the whole playlist works like, here is us doing a live acoustic version of the song. Here's the song. Here's us doing a live acoustic version of the song. Here's the song. So every song was on there twice. And if I'm not like every 3 minutes jumping back to the YouTube screen, getting the same song multiple times. And that just got under my skin a little bit.
Sure.
That I had to deal with that. And here's what this album is. It's like dad rock. And they're having a great time, and they can definitely play their instruments. And there were some great moments in it. There's a lot of great harmony still. Like the Dreams of San Joaquin, I thought was really cool. But yet overall, I wasn't sure that it was getting more interesting. Like every album was a little different. Every album was really pleasant. Every album had one interesting cover. This time it was Pat Benatar, which they definitely did not have the vocal chops for at all. No, they were not. They were not ready to do that.
No, they weren't.
I mean, I can sit here and like pick out the things that I liked about all these albums. Like I love the violin on the title track. Anytime they incorporated strings into these songs, I thought it elevated them a little bit. but I don't think they ever solved the problem. Like, this is a band that inherently does so many things that I like, that didn't have a single song that I thought was bad to listen to, and yet left me a little unsatisfied with every album.
Yeah. Okay. So, okay, I'm gonna make. We're an adult podcast.
That's
We're for
right.
grown-ups.
Neither
We
of us
say
are
curse
children.
words. This listening experience to me, like, really just felt like edging
There we go.
the whole time, because you're exactly right. There was no moment
Right.
in any of the track.
Right.
It was all good.
All
It
good.
was all good. There was all talented. The closest it came on this album was the second to last song, "Freestanding," which had a great saxophone melody, which was a pleasant experience.
Sure. Yeah, I agree.
I do think once again we have slightly elevated lyrically, because now we're much more in the reflective range,
Mhm.
and I think you can hear it. And there's a couple songs like the one that stuck out to me was they finally were using like rhythmic devices in the vocals with the song "Old Bronco."
Okay, sure.
Which was not the best lyrically. Like, listen, I want to be clear. These are at best average lyrics. They're not
Right.
great lyrics.
But we needed to get to average
We needed to
in
get
order
to
to cover
average, and I
there.
think we finally did on this album.
Mhm.
We finally got to the point where if this album was not Kevin Bacon and Michael Bacon, I would look at this album more than any other two albums. I've been like, this is a good album from X
Yeah,
artist. So I think
I
that's a
agree.
great place to be.
Yeah.
Like when you compare it to full blown like career musicians, yes, it might fall a little short in a lot of places. But when you compare it to what it is, which is like other celebrity, like other movie star music projects,
Mhm.
it compares very favorably. There's
Yeah.
only a couple that I can think of above it. Like Tenacious D probably ranks above it because Jack Black, I mean, it's a comedy group, but Jack Black's vocals are not comedy.
Yeah, I mean, he's not limited in the songs. Like, I think the
Right.
songs are a little bit more satisfying, um, in that
Yeah.
they like move somewhere. But I like the
Yeah.
musical ideas here better.
I completely agree. I'm just talking in terms of like the product itself.
Mhm.
I do agree. Like, this is more my jam musically. Tenacious D, I very much enjoy, but Tenacious D is not something I'll just like put on to chill out and listen to. This is close.
Sure. Yeah.
I would listen adjacent to this more than
Mhm.
that, but
Yeah.
that's not the discussion. The discussion is this is still very enjoyable. And one other shout out I'll say before I turn it over to you to tell us some facts.
Mhm.
This is 2024. Vocally, still strong.
Yeah. I
mean, still very strong.
comparatively, not much changed over the
No,
course
and
of
I
the
mean,
30
it's
years
still
of listening that we did.
right. Like there are definitely limitations to the Bacon brothers' voices, especially
Mhm.
Michael Bacon. I'm sorry, Michael Bacon. Your voice is just a little strange to me, but there's definitely limitations to their voices, but the limitations have not gone up, and the vocal quality has maintained.
Yeah.
And I think any singer, that's all they'll ever want. You know, there comes a point in your life where you're not getting better at singing.
Right. Very, very
And
fair.
then it's just not getting worse.
Right.
And they did not get worse.
You're right. So I should tell you some facts about them. I will let you know that I struggled to find facts that were related as much as possible to this band and not either of the individuals. But I did my best. And I will start by saying I couldn't find anything mean that this band did, but they did once play a fundraiser concert in Denver for the Love, Hope, Strength Foundation. So
Hey.
good for them.
Also, I mean,
Uh,
shout out that they are from Philly. We should
Yeah,
mention that.
they are. They
The
actually
Bacon
played
brothers are from Philly.
They played their first show at the Theater of Living Arts, the TLA.
Oh, love that.
Where is that? Like 3rd and South, give or take, or something. But it's a
Yeah,
great
I
venue.
was there 15. I was there what 15 years ago. Keith, if you're
Has it
still in
been
the
that
chat,
long?
we went and saw Star Kid.
Okay, I've seen a few shows there. It's a fun venue.
It is a
But they
fun
played
venue.
their first gig there. at the suggestion of a friend because they'd always just kind of jam together, but never thought of doing a band until someone told them to try it.
Nice. That's awesome.
As far as like a highlight goes, as a band, their single Tom Petty T-shirt reached number 8 on iTunes and Spotify in the summer of 2018.
Okay.
And as far as like sales or accolades or like having a big song as a band, I feel like that was maybe the best that I could find.
Okay. I love it.
And the low light, I'm going to have to say, is that was their highlight.
Keith said it was like 13 years ago.
Yeah,
Went and
okay.
Soulstar Kid.
There you go.
Whew.
But basically, that they're a band with the Kevin Bacon, Michael Bacon resume, and pretty much the only thing I could find to consider a highlight was that they once had a song that reached number 8 on iTunes and Spotify. Has to be their low light as a group. So I'm just doing that. I'm literally going to pick that, and I'm going to move on. I'm double dipping. Here's what's unique, because and I have to do this before I can do the last category, because what's unique about this band is they are the band that spawned, well, because of this band, the whole concept of the 6 degrees of things has spawned, and none of our other artists can say that. And Kevin Bacon, while he was initially hesitant about embracing that, he did eventually embrace it. And then he created 6degrees.org, which is like a social network that connects people to the charities that they would most want to donate to.
That's really cool.
So he used it as a way to like help get charities donations. So you got to roll with that. That's pretty cool. And Google, apparently, I found out also as I was doing some research on him, that Google used to have a feature where you could like type in the name of any actor and put Bacon number next to it, and it would give you their degrees of Kevin Bacon.
Really?
They took it away though. It doesn't do that anymore.
Well, there's still the website, the Oracle of Bacon, right?
I don't know. I didn't check that.
Oh, I really hope that still exists. I gotta check right now.
Yeah, you check that, and I'll get to the actual 6 degrees. And I tried to use the 6 degrees wisely, and really make some connections here. So we've talked about Michael Bacon, and we mentioned that not only does he compose for television and film, but he's also a music professor at Lehman College. There's some very interesting other alums of Lehman College besides Michael Bacon, including like Letitia James.
Okay.
But that's not the direction I'm going. I'm going in a very different but similar direction, because when I say Letitia James, the first person you probably think of is Ron Perlman.
Oh, okay, sure.
Probably not.
I'm with you.
Okay,
Ron Perlman,
Ron
obviously,
is also a Lehman College alum. And in the year of our Lord, 1993, he starred in an adaptation of The Adventures of Huckleberry Finn. And also in that movie was a very young Daniel Tamborelli, best known for his roles in The Adventures of Pete and Pete and all that in Nickelodeon in the 90s. And when Danny Tamborelli was on The Adventures of Pete and Pete, he met Iggy Pop, who taught him how to play Stooges songs and got him interested in becoming a musician.
Fascinating.
Yes.
Absolutely fascinating. I am... What a world. What a way we took this.
Look, it was the Kevin Bacon episode, so I really had to try to use my 6 degrees wisely here.
I think you did great. So now here's the real question, okay? I got 2 questions for you.
Sure.
One, I have a 6 degrees that I'll use less wisely. But
sure.
2, the 1993 Adventures of Huck Finn is a Walt Disney production.
It is.
What do you think they called Jim?
Oh boy. Did they just like have a crow that was like vaguely racist play him?
It's very interesting. It is starring Elijah Wood too, which I would not have expected.
Yeah, he's also a Ute in that film.
Yeah, 93.
Yeah, I don't know. What did they
I don't know. I'm assuming they just called him Jim. I would assume they had to have just called him Jim. Listen, Mark Twain, phenomenal writer. We need to just call him Jim.
Yeah, I think we get the point that he was making in the 1800s about
Yes,
what was going on there.
without still referring.
Yeah.
We're on the
I
same
think we
page.
can understand his good intentions and also not say it.
If only the world still worked like that, it would be a much better place.
Well,
but I will say my 6 degrees is the video that I saw the Bacon Brothers on was one of Daryl Hall's like
live at
his
from Daryl's house. Yeah.
yeah. So little 6 degrees for that as well.
Well then, that's the end of the Bacon Brothers.
Well, it's time to read the script.
Perfect. Oh, all right. Before we get into the script, just because it's getting darker out, I'm going to put the light in my room on so that I don't look.
I really thought you
start just getting darker and fading into the background.
Although that could be fun. I really thought he was about to say, I'll wait till he comes back. That's funny. I can't believe it's been 13 years, Keith. That's truly the passage of time is never ending until one day.
Unfortunately. Yeah, I can't wait.
No, I was going to say, I really thought you were about to say preemptively, but since it's getting darker, I'm going to pee. And I was ready to laugh about it. But then you said something even funnier. A lot happens. Oh, Keith, I know. All right.
Shall we?
Listen, man, we shall. Let's let's do it. All right.
All right.
The Script are an Irish pop rock band formed in 2001 in Dublin. And they are still active today. So 2001 to the present day, we covered 3 albums. We started with, and I just need to shout out The Script and thank them, because we started with The Script from 2008. So the eponymous debut album.
That's true.
It was a little iffy if we were going to get there. We got there. We followed that up with 2010's Science and Faith. And then we wrapped things up with Satellites from 2024.
Yeah.
So they're my artist.
That's right.
And in a rare twist of fate, I have listened to this entire album previously.
Very rare twist of fate.
It does not normally happen. Normally, I'm coming in blind, but I have heard this Script album in its entirety multiple times, and there's a lot that I enjoy about it. There are things that I don't, but there's a lot that I enjoy about it. So the positives first. And I'm going to start with Danny O'Donoghue's voice. It is a very interesting voice, and it is very intriguing the way that he uses it. So he's got a ton of range, ton of high range. It never, like, he manages to sing high without sounding either shouty or belty.
Mm-hmm.
It just kind of exists high up there, which is an interesting time. I also think that they're doing some things here which do kind of end up dating them now when you think about it. Like the use of, like, I don't want to call it rapping because it's not, but that like fast rhythmic singing that they do on a number of these.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Was something that was not happening a ton in my musical listening when I listened to this album in 2008. I think there's obviously some enduring hits. The Man Who Can't Be Moved and Break Even are both songs that continue to be played today, are popular hits for them. And really the 2 popular hits for them, both on this debut album. There's a couple other songs that have kind of existed, but The Man Who Can't Be Moved and Break Even were the 2 when they came out that were like, everybody's hearing them. They're played all the time.
I knew one other song.
You knew one other song?
Yeah.
Okay, good. I'm intrigued to hear it. And also the other song that this is a total nostalgia because listening to it again this week, I was like, oh, it's a little boring. But the song I'm Yours at the end of this, 2008, Pat, fucking loved it. Because it was like emotional and like ballady. And I was like, oh man, I'm in my feels on the bus on the way home from school. Like, yeah. Now, moving on to a couple of the negatives, which I'm sure you'll talk about more. They are writing these songs. They're all credited writers on these songs. Danny O'Donohue has one solo right, which is "I'm Yours." Shout out Danny O'Donohue for 2008, me loving that song. They are also, however, working with songwriters. Not a team of them. It's just a couple. So Andrew Frampton, I believe, is one of them. No relation to Peter Frampton.
Darn.
But Andrew Frampton, and then I believe Glenn Power is the other one.
That sounds right.
And then also Steve Kipner for one of the tracks. So there's a couple writers involved with this.
Mm-hmm.
It's not an audio product. I want to be clear on that. I don't feel like this is an audio product, but there is definitely, it's not just the three members of the band writing these songs. But for the most part, it's enjoyable. I do think it gets a little overly poppy at times listening to it with my current ears.
Right.
It is definitively a pop album. There's no denying that. But I think there are good moments on this album. And I still think that today, which I wasn't fully expecting.
Okay. So I'm going to bounce off a couple of your thoughts. One, what they have here is an album that they wanted to be able to be played on the local top 40 pop station, but also was hoping that like the alt station was going to pick up a couple of the singles as well. I feel like that was the lane that a lot of artists in the late 2000s, early 2010s were trying to find. And the script is definitely one of the ones that comes to mind right away for like exactly that. And in the review from The Guardian, the reviewer said that the record company seems to think that they have Timbaland meets U2 here, but more realistically, they have the new Maroon 5. And I felt like that was kind of accurate.
Yeah, that feels very accurate.
I felt like that was kind of spot on. And like 2008 was the time when Maroon 5 wasn't bad yet, but they were not still good. And I feel like that's sort of where this sits. Like, it's studio polished. I wouldn't complain about how any of these songs sound. They're all pleasant. There's good vocals. All of the music were like 4-chord songs. It was all like super basic.
I just want to be quick. I'm dumb. I said Glenn Power is a songwriter. He's the drummer for the band. That was my bad. Andrew Frampton and Steve Kipner are both the writers that I was talking about.
Very good. But like it's boring. Musically, it's really boring. I get that. The vocals are what drives it, and like the clean finish. But if you're looking for a band that's going to write more than 4 chords in a song, this ain't it. And here's the biggest violation of the week. This is something I like. I don't know how you didn't talk about it. There's a song on this album, and it's near the end.
It's. I know exactly what you're talking about. If You See K.
It's called If You See K.
If You See K.
And here's the thing: the low level violation on this song is one. Okay, it's like a clever little thing to like throw into a song. Do it maybe once in the verse.
Yeah.
Don't sing it 10,000 times because it loses the effect every time.
It's
a law of diminishing returns. But here, do you know what makes it worse? And maybe you don't know why this is so bad, Pat.
Oh, maybe I don't.
Another band, April Wine, in 1983, wrote a song called If You See K. Uses this exact like it was a big hit for them in the 80s. Like literally, they're just like, hey, let's just take that exact play on words and that exact title that's already a song and just write it with our own lyrics and try to do the same exact shtick and see if it works for us. Like it was literally already done. Simpsons did it. You can't just write that song again.
That's really funny. April Wine, you said they were?
Yes.
I'm looking right now.
Yeah, like if you search April Wine, If You See K, it was a song. It's like different lyrics, different songs.
No, I'll listen to it. I was looking. So the reason I was looking,
like if they came out with a song called "Stairway to Heaven" and it was all about buying a stairway to heaven, but all the other lyrics.
Well, the next song is called "I'm Yours," which I think is very famously another song as well.
Yes, sure,
different thing, but
something that banal is fine.
Yeah,
Like if you're gonna write a song that's like "I love you" or something, like yeah, 10 other people already wrote that song.
that's
It's
really
basic.
funny
But
that you
if you
said that.
CK like that, really,
Yeah.
really, that's bad.
So the reason I
That's
was looking
bad.
it up is because Danny O'Donohue and Mark Sheehan, two members of the band, were credited as writers, but there's a third writer named Tony McGinnis.
Sure.
So I was looking up to see if he was a member of April Wine, and he's not, as far
Okay.
as I can
Yeah.
tell.
So I guess he also didn't hear that song, and
Just
no one at
interesting.
the record label ever heard it. And it's just
Hey,
wild that they let them do that because it's just like not a good look to me.
yeah, I mean, hey, I get what you're saying. All right, take
Um,
us into Science and Faith.
Science and Faith. This has the other song that I know for the first time, which is also, by the way, their second highest charting single in the United States.
How dare you, Keith? How dare you break my heart
Um,
by telling me that was 17 years ago?
yeah, oh man. So I don't know. It's the same thing as the first album. It's at its best. It's super pleasant and catchy, and it's also super simple and cliche. Like that's the script. If I had to describe them in 4 words, they're pleasant, they're catchy, they're simple, and they're cliche. It's just 2010s pop background noise. Um, I'm gonna be honest. I think some of the writing is bad. I think a lot of their lyrics are "I'm 14 and this is deep." And listening to these songs for the first time as someone in your 30s, it's like, oh, they're just not good writers. They're just
I,
not.
yeah, no, listen, I completely get what
um,
you're saying.
and I also have. If you look at the credits on this, there's a ton of different people who are all credited with different instruments and production.
Yeah.
And then there's just one part that says the script credited for drums, guitars, keyboards, vocals. And I don't know about you, but that screams like we hire like studio musicians played these parts and then signed NDAs to like not say, because that happens a lot. There are a lot of bands who don't play their own songs in the studio. And I remember when I read Steve Lukather's biography, or autobiography, he was
Yeah.
talking a lot about like there are a lot of bands, a lot of records where we played the music and had to sign NDAs about not saying that we were the ones who actually did it so that the bands could have a public face. Seeing just the script, I don't know. It was giving me, did they actually play the instruments vibes?
I get what you're saying. I get what you're saying. I question some of it. I feel like it might just be more the fact that at this point, like Mark Sheehan was most of like he was the guitar player. Danny O'Donohue is just a singer. Like he's pure vocalist. He apparently also did the strings arrangement for this, which I'm confused about, but
Interesting.
it might just be part of that, like having extra people to fill it out because it's just a couple people, just a few friends at this
Yeah.
point. I don't know, but I get what you're saying for sure.
Yeah.
So yeah, going into this album, I completely get what you're saying. I think that lyrically it's a regression except for one song. So the first album, I think did a lot of both albums do a lot of the like I'm in love with you and it's unrequited, breakup-y, like
Mhm.
in your feels kind of songs. There's a
Sure.
bunch of them like that. And it's all love based,
Sure.
good or bad love. And this album is a lot more of the same. Like for the first time, like if you ever come back, which, I'll leave the door on the latch if you ever like, there's a lot of stuff like that. The one song that felt the most authentic to me that I've listened to so far from them is the song called Nothing,
Mhm.
which is the same thing. It's like a heartbreak song of just this dude who like goes out and drinks with his friends because she's gone. And that one is the only song to me that I felt this is a legitimate emotion
Sure.
on this album. This album did not hold my nostalgia. I listened to this album when it came out,
Yeah.
but
I had a feeling that's where we were gonna
2008,
be.
like the script, the first album, like I know I'm coming from a place of nostalgia.
Mhm.
I'm not coming from a place of nostalgia on this one, and so I
Right.
agree with you a lot more. Other than the song Nothing, I think that's one good song on a 10 song album,
Sure.
and I think the other 10 are fine. Except for the fact that there's I I think This Equals Love is the song that I would say maybe isn't that great.
No.
But yeah, I listen, I'm with you. And I'm going to move us on to Satellites. And I was very worried about Satellites for a couple reasons. One reason I will talk about when I do my facts, but that reason ended up coming true, I think, in my opinion. And the other reason was because how often have we had a pop act that was like enjoyable in the 2000s to 2010s, and then to keep up with the times goes off the deep end.
Sure.
And so I was very worried about that with this album. And then I think kind of for a good reason, because I think it kind of happened. It's a little more pop than the first two albums.
Which
and a
were
little
already pretty
more,
pop.
which were already pretty pop. But this one is like a little more electric sounds, a little bit less authentic set feeling in each song. It's less so than we've had in the past. Like this is not Fallout Boy.
Oh God, no.
Fallout
that was
Boy's last album was like
very different.
it was like a modem running, and that was that might as well have been the electric sounds they used. This one still has instruments, still has vocalization. Danny O'Donohue still sounds really good vocally. But this one, more so than the first two, feels like we're starting to get a product. And I'm sad to see it. It's sad to see something that, like, you know, I recognize the flaws of the first album, but I enjoy
I
it.
understand. Yeah.
And it's sad to
things
see
get
where
you
it
at the
went.
right time in your life.
Oh,
and
yeah.
then, then they're there.
Yeah, exactly. I would say this album is not actively terrible. It's not bad. But I also would not say it's a good album. I wouldn't say it's good musically. There's nothing on this album where I felt like full legit emotion. It felt very much to me like I am writing songs because I need to release an album and songs need to be on that album.
Right.
And that's what I think about that.
I will say what you could not. This was not a good album. They had, I think, the most additional writers outside of band members on this one, and yet nothing really changed. It's just like the most standard pop drivel with like just a skosh of alt rock in there, so we can say that we're a pop rock act. It's like if you love the idea of the alt rock pop band that tries to thread the needle between the top 40 station and the alt rock station, but you're like, Imagine Dragons is really hardcore. I can't get into that. That's too much for me. The script could be for you.
Yeah, the 2020 script in particular could definitely be for you.
And again, I thought all of the lyrics were very, again, super juvenile and not good.
Yes,
Again,
and my problem with that, I not to cut you off because I want you to finish. My problem with that is, as Keith just so eloquently pointed out to me, there is 16 years between these two albums, between the first album and this album, and there is like maybe 6 months of maturing between them.
Exactly. Yeah. In the wrong direction, maybe even.
Yeah, that's true.
What was I just about to say?
I'm sorry.
Darn. I had something else I wanted to say. What was I saying right before that?
Yeah, I don't know. I ruined it. I ruined the whole thing.
You really? That's okay. So I came up with a formula for the script by the end.
Okay.
So if you can show me one script song that has more than 4 chords and less than 4 cliches, then you must have access to their unreleased studio vault songs that have not been on an album. And that is how I feel about them.
Okay.
That's how I feel.
I understand. All right. I got a couple facts.
Okay, I'm ready.
I'm going to start with the unique thing because honestly, I don't think when you picked the title for this, you understood how close it was.
No, I don't
Uh,
think I did.
so the script, the reason they are called the script is because the band, lived in LA for a while, for a time. And rather than, like, apparently in LA in the early 2000s,
Hmm.
you didn't greet people by saying, like, hey, or what's up. You would say, like, oh, what's the script? As in, like, what are you working on right now?
Okay, right.
And so they like lived there for a time, and that became like a habit for them, and then they went back and would still say it as a joke, and then became the name of the band.
I love it.
So very Hollywood reason to have the name.
Yeah, it really is.
The highlight, even though it's not my favorite of the three albums, it's got to be Science and Faith. So it debuted at number 3 on the Billboard 200. It sold, you know, over 300,000 copies in the US, which for this is a band that is known in the US but didn't musically take off in the US.
Sure.
So, I mean, we'll see when we talk about their sales and certifications, like a lot of it's not US based. This band kind of did make it in Europe
Oh yeah.
and is successful enough to be known even in the US, but this is the album that kind of bridged that gap a little bit. It sold over 1.5 million copies worldwide, which is pretty freaking good.
Yeah.
And is definitely the highlight for them. It's their highest selling total album, best charting. It's a highlight. The low light, and this is what I was talking about with Satellites. So in 2023, longtime guitar player Mark Sheehan passed away after a brief illness. That's kind of all the information that was released about it. I remember it at the time. It was very sad because I was worried about how much of a contribution he had to the sound of the script.
Right.
And that's why I think on this album, you can kind of hear he had a lot to do with the sound, because this album sounds different at bass and not necessarily better. Although he is credited as a writer on the title track Satellites, which I wonder if that's why it was called that, because that's the last song he contributed to.
Right.
Either way, very sad. Obviously, I mean, he was not old. He was 46. So
Yeah.
very sad to hear about his passing. He was, for all accounts, a pretty decent dude. And, you know, you never want to see anybody pass away. So I couldn't really find much for Meanest or Nicest. I saw a couple things with like charity events, but they weren't really naming the charities. And so they do some philanthropic work, I will say. I was unable to find a Meanest, which is usually a good thing. I don't like finding a Meanest. But the 6 degrees, the six degrees,
Yes.
but I was blown away when I read this while doing my research, just based on listening to the music. The script counts as one of their major influences. This is their words. They said major influences. Van Morrison.
Oh. I
And
guess
I'm
because he's
like-
also Irish.
Yeah, I was like, but are you influenced by him?
In terms of where they were born.
Right, because musically, I would have guessed maybe 1,000 artists before I guessed Van Morrison as an influence.
Yeah.
It, like, just very surprising. Not at all close to me.
No, I wouldn't have thought about it.
So I just had it. That's the 6 degrees. They apparently count Van Morrison as a major influence.
Okay.
Or at least did at one time. Maybe that's
Yeah.
since changed.
Maybe before they started recording music.
Yeah, maybe 2001 to 2007, they were a Van Morrison cover band and then went, we're going to break off and do our own thing.
Yeah.
And that is all I've got for the script.
Excellent. So it's time for grades.
Yeah.
So the most famous thing I can think of about the Bacon Brothers band is that Kevin Bacon is in them. And
Yeah.
even that, people have no idea that he has a band.
Right. And that's the thing, right? Like, taking
It
Kevin
would
Bacon
be
out
a
of
point
it.
one if Kevin Bacon wasn't in it. I don't think it's a point one,
No.
but it would be if not for Kevin Bacon.
Kevin Bacon will elevate this from a point one, but he is not going to get Kevin Bacon's points because I don't think.
No. When we cover his films as our albums, then
Yes, there we go.
yeah. I don't know. I'll give him like a half a point. That's how I feel about it.
I think that's pretty fair, man. I think that's a good idea. Like, we are people who are in the musical world, and I think we both were in the same boat going into this. Like, I've heard of the Bacon Brothers,
I was
and I
aware.
had heard the Daryl's house thing and I was like, oh, they can play, like they're not bad.
Yeah, for sure.
But I've never seen or heard of them in like
Never listened to
pop
their music.
culture,
Yeah,
which is crazy considering how famous Kevin Bacon is.
correct.
The script a bit different.
Yes.
We're not in crazy high ranges, obviously. Like I mentioned, they did
No.
have a little bit of trouble over here across the
Yeah, but
pond.
they still have like 3 big singles, and I think a couple of other singles that probably squeaked in after
Yeah.
they were completely off our radars.
All
So I
of
think
that
a couple
is
points.
absolutely correct. So I want to just, they do have single certifications for Man Who Can't Be Moved, Break Even, In America, Double Platinum, Platinum. So there are, for the first time also in Platinum. Is that the
Yeah.
third song? Yeah.
Yeah, you keep saying it like it wasn't their second biggest charting hit in the United States. I
Yeah.
remember hearing it all the time when it came out.
Yeah. So like there are definitely certifications for their singles.
Yeah,
Hall of Fame featuring Will.i.am as a single for them that
I
went
believe that.
double platinum in America. Good for them.
Look, I'm willing to give them a couple of points, and
Yeah.
they're more popular in Europe than they are here, obviously.
Yeah. The number that I was thinking about was like a 3.1.
I already typed it in.
Perfect. That's
We're
great.
So Breadth of Work, Bacon Brothers Band, 10 albums, 5.5 points to start. Sales, though, is not something that I can even begin to research.
Yeah. So in my limited look, I could tell that not even all of these albums were like mass produced.
It's going to have to be the full 0.5, I think, that we can take away.
Yeah, I think that's a
I
good
think it just is
thought.
what it is. And here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to give them 0.04.
Okay.
I almost
Okay.
like some of the songs enough to give them anything, and it will be up to you to determine if they get 0.1 at all added back to their score. But I could live with them just sitting where they're at.
I will give them 0.06 and give them the 1.
Okay. Very good.
I think they've earned that.
Excellent. Together, they're worth a 0.1 from us. The script, however, starting at a 5.2, is not going to be losing points for sales. In fact,
No.
we might even throw a little bit their way.
So, yes, I think there's a chance we will throw a little bit their way. So, we do count single sales in this category canonically. So, just going through a couple of them, obviously, every one of their 7 albums, other than Satellites, has some type of certification. Now, the last 2 before that are British Gold. So, that's like 12 albums sold.
It's like, I don't know, 50.
It might be 50,000.
But they have 12 million in album sales estimated.
Yes.
So
12 million in album sales is great.
I'm willing to give them 0.2 for that.
And I think we should.
Excellent. Now they're your group, so I'll let you make your
Yeah.
decision about the quality points.
Here's the thing, right? Nostalgia me wants to give them a lot here. Realistic me doesn't. And I'm going to do my best. I'm going to give them a 0.1.
Okay.
I would probably give them 0.2 for the script, leave Science and Faith alone, and take away 0.1 for Satellites. And that is my formula.
And I will take away 0.2.
Sure, I understand.
I would do nothing for the first album and take away 1, or like a half of 1 for the second album and take away 1.5 for the third.
That is respectable. I completely understand it.
Okay. Instrumental talent.
This one's interesting.
They have opposite strengths.
Yep.
The Bacon Brothers are obviously better at every instrument other than vocals.
Yeah.
And they're actually also better at harmony.
Yeah, I think both of those things are true.
but again, like there weren't a bunch of like really impressive difficult parts in their songs. There weren't a bunch of like very impressive solos. I think it would all just kind of rocking and hanging out. There I guess any points they would get above average for me would come from the fact that they're both multi-talented instrumentalists. Um, but otherwise, they're hanging out around 5 as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, I listen. I think they're pretty close to a 5. I think that's the realm. Maybe like a 5.1. They're a
Got it.
little above average, but it's not an insult to be considered the average
For professional musicians,
for
certainly not.
professional musicians. And that's the thing. I want to be clear with everybody. Just, I know we say this every few episodes, but just a reminder, like these scores are comparing to other professional
Not
musicians,
just
not
any,
the
not just
average
everybody.
person.
Yes, correct.
Yeah. So otherwise, everybody would be a 9 or a 10 because
Exactly.
these are all professional musicians. Well,
Except for some.
except for Sleepy Time Gorilla Museum.
No, they're they're good. They make crazy sounds, but they know how to play.
Yeah,
Um,
but I don't count the spatula as an instrument.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
That's fine. The score for the script has to be lower.
Yeah.
Like
The,
they're better vocally for sure,
mhm.
but there is nothing interesting about any of the music that gets played at any point on 3 albums.
Listen, I don't disagree with you. I don't disagree with you. They are below average in terms of the overall instrumental talent.
Mhm.
I will just take a second once again to shout out Danny O'Donoghue's vocals are
Yeah.
very strong.
That's what's saving them. That's what's
Yeah.
keeping them in the 4s as far as I'm concerned.
Thought it was important to say because we're about to give a below average score.
Mhm.
It is not Danny
That's
O'Donoghue's
not why.
vocals. That
But
he is a very talented vocal singer.
He is the reason why I would still be comfortable awarding them a 4.3.
I think 4.3 is a great score.
Excellent.
And just to be clear, I think the things that they're lacking here are the instrumental diversity
Yeah, for sure.
and like soloing and
also
like
any
melodic
songs
playing.
that don't just use like
The
a
4 chords.
super basic
Yeah.
4-chord structure. Like
Yeah.
there's nothing.
I mean, I
difficult or
use
interesting about playing those
multiple
songs.
when we do the
Yeah,
4-chord song.
right.
I use multiple script songs.
Right.
So
Yeah, that's telling. And I think
It's
that's
just the
also
truth.
telling for the next category when we get there, which is
Yeah.
songwriting. The weird thing about the Bacon Brothers here again is they hit on all of the hallmarks that we discuss when we talk about great songwriting. Do they pull from a wide variety of genres? Yes.
yes,
Did I hear distinct differences from album to album as like artists that grew and changed
Yeah.
and tried new things? Yeah. Different instrumentations. Yes. Good use of harmony and backing vocals is what like, yes, 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 yes. But on the level of the individual song, they were all just a little unsatisfying.
yep.
And it's
You were edged.
yeah, it was like when I look at the forest, I say really good score here. When I look at the trees, I'm like,
Yeah. And
I
I think realistically we should look at that and be like, we're probably in the 5s.
I think that
I
you're
think
right.
we're in the 5s. I think we're above average for all of the good.
Yeah.
But the
I'm
ingredients to make up this
Yeah.
soup are lackluster.
Right. I'm okay with like a 5.3.
Perfect.
Okay.
And I think we're in a similar score to the last category for the script. We're in the 4s again, I think.
Okay.
And the reason I think that is because while you may like the individual music less,
Mhm.
they are still meeting some of those same effects. They are pulling from multiple genres. It's a lot of pop, but they are pulling, a little more like I mentioned, like not, I don't want to say rap because it's not fucking rap, but you know what I mean?
I know what you're talking about.
Like they are incorporating
The
that at
vocal styling.
times, the vocal styling of that like fast-paced rhythmic,
Yeah.
monotone sounding singing at times,
Mhm.
but to add rhythm and complexity to otherwise simple songs.
You're right.
I
That is
think
the one thing that they have going for them in this category for me.
yeah, and that's again, we're not talking a high score here.
Yeah, no.
I think we might even be I would be comfortable like at a 4.
I will allow
If-
you to have a 4.
If you want to go a little lower, we can talk about
I'll
it.
allow you to have the 4. I mean, it's just
Yeah.
that every single like there was no point when I heard something that wasn't 4 pop chords. Like never did they adventure into anything that was like even Like throw in a secondary dominant somewhere to
Yeah,
like give me a pull in a different direction. Um,
I agree.
um,
They're we will say they are musically conservative.
yes, that makes sense. Okay, poetic talent. I don't think this is a great category for either artist.
I don't think so either.
And I think we're again, I'm gonna give the edge to the Bacon Brothers because it started like a little cringy at times and worked its way to okay. And the script was like maybe okay on some songs and just got really bad.
Yeah.
So I'm okay in like the fours for the Bacon Brothers, and then I'm under.
Yes. Okay. So I'm going to highlight just a couple positives and negatives. I did kind of mention a couple of them early, but for the Bacon Brothers, the two songs that stuck out to me as positives were Old Bronco and Tuesday.
Hmm.
I thought that they were both good examples of one, finally nailing the straightforward emotive
Yeah.
lyric style. The only like the comp that's coming to mind, and I want to be so clear, I don't mean in terms of quality of lyric because it's not the same, but just in terms of a person who just sings a story at you and is Ben Folds.
Okay.
That's the style of lyric they're going for. The
Hmm.
I'm just telling you a story with a song behind me.
Right.
And that's exactly what Ben Folds does.
Sure.
It
Better.
is not performed as well. Yeah, it's not to the level of Ben Folds. Ben Folds is a much better lyricist,
Hmm.
but it's the style that we're going for.
Sure.
And I think on Tuesday they finally got it. That's the one to me where they got that style down.
Gotcha.
And then Old Bronco, they were using a repetitive vocal device, and they used it well, and it was different.
I would be willing to cap them out at 4.5.
Yeah, I would maybe be like a 4-4. I'm still under. I'm
I'm with
highlighting the
look,
positives, but
I'm always happy to go underneath. The script is
yeah,
lower than that. The script
the
cannot
script
be
is
out of
lower
the
than that.
threes even. I mean,
No.
the whole last two albums were just terrible lyrically.
Again, I just want to highlight a couple positives.
Sure. Yes.
We can again, there are more negatives than positives for both bands. I'm just trying to keep it positive.
Yes. No, I appreciate it.
For the first album, I liked the way they were talking in some of these songs. They were much more honest in some of these songs. Like, for instance, the song Break Even came out in 2008. These are Irish boys. And like the second lyric is talking about not believing in God.
Mhm.
It was, I know it's 2008, not 1988, and like it's a little less risque to tell shit like that. But it was still a moment. It might have been the first time I heard that from a modern song.
Mhm.
And I just wanted to shout it out. And then I think there are a couple songs like I like I'm Yours. I'm nostalgic
Sure.
towards I'm Yours. But
I
then
think
moving
you also
into
have to factor into that first album that they literally ripped off the If You CK thing,
Yeah,
which
and
was already used in another popular song. That's so bad.
100%. And like I said, I'm fine. We're gonna be in the threes with them, and that's fine.
Yes.
I'm just again some of the highlights. And then I think the song Nothing is the same way that I think Tuesday is the Bacon Brothers hitting what they're trying to do lyrically the best.
Sure.
I think Nothing is the script's version of that.
Gotcha.
We're trying to sing these songs about like heartbreak and unrequited love and sometimes successful love, but most of it's like songs to get in your feels about.
Right.
And I think Nothing is that one where it's like, you hit it, you did it. This is a song where I feel your emotion for maybe the first time.
For the first time. Okay.
How dare you?
I'm sorry.
And then there are some successful hits, and we can't take away from the fact that the songs that they are writing are successful.
Well, sure. Yeah, I gave him some points for that.
Yeah. And I think all that to be said, I would like to give them a 3.4.
Excellent. X Factor. I don't know.
Listen,
you have something?
I mean, I kind of don't. I was looking at it. I mean, if you look at their awards and nominations for the script, they're not there.
Okay, fair enough.
I mean, they won a BMI Pop Award. They won a Brit Pop or a Brit Award.
Sure.
They won some more BMI Pop Awards, the Meteor Island Music Awards.
Well, that's 5 points.
They did. I will say the one thing that I think they won that we can really talk about. They did win the 2008 World Music Award for Best Selling Irish Act.
Okay.
The rest of it, I mean, they've never. I don't see
I
any
don't know.
Grammy nominations here. They did have a
extent
Teen
we
Choice
throw
Awards
these things in.
nomination. No, I'm not. This is just where we normally talk about stuff
now
like
I'm
this.
looking at what you're looking at, and I would just love to say that in 2008 they were nominated for the Mass Appeal Award at the Global Awards, and I would take that as an insult.
Yeah, that's rough. That's pretty rough.
Yeah.
But yeah, other than that, I mean, we're not talking a ton here. And in fact, we're talking 0. I would like to give them 0 X Factor points.
Then I have final scores, and I will tell you, it was close.
Yeah, I thought it might be.
It was within half a point.
Wow. Okay.
But winning this week's episode is the Bacon Brothers.
Really?
With a 20.4.
I am shocked. I was the whole time we're scoring, I'm thinking, can the Bacon Brothers overcome the cultural impact score?
And the answer was just barely.
Just barely. Okay.
Just barely. They scored a 20.4 and the script scored a 20.1.
It was very close. Okay.
Very close.
I'll tell you what. Okay.
If either one of them could write lyrics, it probably wouldn't have been close.
It's true. It's true. I mean, or imagine if Danny O'Donoghue's last name was Bacon and he was a member of the Bacon Brothers and could sing like
and they
that.
had a singer, then that would probably have affected their songwriting in a positive way.
Yeah. So, I mean, there's a lot there.
Yeah, that's a great point.
Very interesting.
There were 2 Bacon Brothers, right?
Yeah.
Next week's episode, all good things are going to come in 3s. So that's going to be the thing. Next time we have an episode, it's all going to be about things in groups of 3.
Okay.
And that's all I can say about it.
3 blind mice.
Legally. Yeah, 3 blind mice will be going up against 3 of a kind.
I was going to say Three's Company.
3's Company. 3 of a perfect pair.
Ooh. You're right. It's just going to be 2 sets of triplets punching each other.
Yes. I would pay to watch that.
All right. Well, listen.
Okay.
What I want y'all to do, this is your homework. This is your podcast homework for me.
Right.
I usually tell you to go listen to your favorite songs or your favorite. Oh my gosh, the Jonas. We should have done the Bacon Brothers versus the Jonas Brothers.
A missed opportunity.
A very missed opportunity.
There will be more Brothers episodes at some point in the future. I promise.
Great
I've
point.
scripted for seasons and seasons.
Script. I get it. But what I want you to do now, okay? I want you to take yourself back in time. I want you to find an album that you know you like because of nostalgia. An album that's like maybe not objectively the best. Like I'm talking like your Backstreet Boys, if you're similar to our ages, where it's like, you know, if you're like dissecting this musically, it's not good. And yet it just hits you in the feel. Similar to the way the Script album hit me in the feel. And 2008 Pat was rocking out again. And that's your homework. Find your nostalgic album, give it a listen, take yourself back to that place, and just be happy.
I love it. And fuck Jerry Lee Lewis.
And fuck Jerry Lee Lewis. And let Little Richard watch.
Okay, bye.
Oh, man. So.
Okay.
I'll tell you real quick.
Yeah, go
ahead. During the podcast, we finally got the AJ Brown. So have you seen the drama this week?
Of course.
I thought you had.
I've been thinking about that, Keith. Actually, I will tell you. Let me think about it before we go dead.
Oh yes, I definitely want to know.
Going live, I think.
Yeah, here. I definitely want to know that. So Keith has asked Nick, "What's your nostalgic album?" I forgot I could do this.
Yeah.
Oh, let me put it back up there. So you think on that. I have the question up, so it will be remembered.
Thank you.
But I want to just so AJ Brown, which is just ridiculous. He takes full accountability for the social media post after the latest low volume game,
Right.
but insists it was not about the Eagles at all. It's like, dude,
Does
you
his
are
wife
not a
know
dumb
about
person.
this?
I was like, you're not a dumb person. You're a very smart guy. Every conversation I've seen AJ Brown have or hear him talk, he's very intelligent.
Yeah, sure.
There's no way on this earth you didn't know that that was going to be perceived in
Yeah.
that way.
CTE, brother. I mean,
He said,
that's gotta be
obviously,
what it is.
Sunday after the game, I let my frustrations boil over. I didn't speak to the media. I had a chance to correct my frustrations, and I continued to let them boil over, and that's on me. I take full accountability on that. My message on Twitter wasn't directed at anyone in the building, not my coaches, not my quarterback, not my GM, nobody. I take full accountability,
Okay.
which is the way that that should be handled.
Sure.
And also, if you, I know we're not a football podcast, and I know
That's
nobody but
true. We're
Keith is
not.
listening, and Keith doesn't play fantasy football. But if you are a fantasy football person, start AJ Brown this week.
Yeah.
When AJ Brown does this, AJ Brown pops the fuck off.
That's fair.
I'm fully prepared for the AJ Brown 9 catches, 165 yards, and 3 touchdowns.
I hope so, because he's going to be on Pat. He's going to have Pat Surtain on him.
Yeah. Listen, Pat Surtain, extremely talented quarterback or cornerback. I almost said quarterback. But Pat Surtain, extremely talented cornerback. I don't think there's a better 50-50 ball catcher in the NFL than AJ Brown.
Yeah, he's got to be up there.
So
I'm struggling to figure it out because there's definitely some stuff that I liked a lot more as a kid, but a lot of it doesn't hit now. Like
Yeah.
Styx and Foreigner and bands like that I absolutely loved as like a young teenager. And
well, that's what I'm
then,
saying. You got to
like,
take yourself back. You can't
yeah,
listen
it's
critically.
because I can't, right? Because it's not that I hate that stuff now, but it just doesn't do much for me.
Yeah.
I'll say, like, if you want to talk like early 2010s, I was super into the album Vessel by 21 Pilots. And I still think it's a pretty good album, but I don't really ever revisit that or listen to any of their other stuff.
Okay. I like that. We should do Babe.
Yeah. It's a good song.
We could do Babe.
Yeah, I guess it's the bridge part. It's always the bridge part with Styx songs. It makes it tough.
Babe, I'm leaving.
Yeah, the verses, that's one thing. But the bridge.
Oh, but dude, seriously, I'm glad you listened to that song. We really need to figure out a way to do All for Lena.
Yeah, it's been stuck in my head for the last couple of days. I listened to Glass Houses today.
Oh man, so good.
What else? What other Billy Joel album did I listen to today? I listened to a couple of them. Street Life Serenade was the other one.
Oh god, so good,
because I can't fucking get enough of the Root Beer Rag. I could listen to the Root Beer Rag every day.
It's so interesting to me. Like, I feel like Billy Joel, like nothing was worse for Billy Joel than Piano Man, in my opinion. I really feel that. Like
you are preaching to the choir.
Right. Like it's just like Piano Man is such a simple song in comparison to the rest of his just amazing work. And it's like, why? Why is that the one that everyone knows, man?
That's on my short list of skips.
Yeah. I completely agree.
Which also includes We Didn't Start the Fire. And
as it should.
And this is my most controversial skip, unless Piano Man might be my most controversial skip in most circles.
Not to me.
My other one is Uptown Girl.
I understand. I like Uptown Girl for what it did for me, which was introduce me to an entire other genre of music. Sure. Because I then found a ton of people doing songs like that better. Mm-hmm. So, I recognize that it's not the strongest.
Yeah.
But
yeah, but like I can dig on All for Lena. Like I would fucking kill to do Zanzibar. Like that's my shit.
Oh, I love Zanzibar, man. I'm telling you, dude.
I was actually playing Zanzibar today.
I would love to do a couple Billy Joel songs because we do Moving Out and it slaps whenever we do it. But the only other Billy Joel songs we do are you and I doing like the piano ones.
And like a lot of his shit is rock and roll.
Right. That's what I'm saying, man. Like it's so good. All for Lena. And the reason I thought we should do All for Lena particularly is because it's got a slapping bass line. Like it's
Yeah, I
really,
think that's what it, because the bass line comes in, there's the piano intro, and then the bass line comes in, and then the guitar line comes in and plays with it. And it's just like I could probably just do the guitar lines and then play the chords over it. And in between the parts in the verse where he kind of has the piano part like da 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 da, like I could do that on guitar with a chord there.
yeah.
It would be easier to cover some of the piano parts on guitar and
You
just
think it'd
make
be
it like
easier to cover the
little bit more
guitar
of a
parts?
guitarier part. I don't know.
We could play with it because I
Yeah.
think it would sound good with. I personally think it would sound good with either. Like it would sound good comping the guitar on piano or comping the piano on guitar.
Mhm.
You would need probably like a more forward bass if you were on piano.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
it's doable, and the bass line slaps, like I said.
Yeah.
So it would be fine to have that be more to the front. Either way, I think we should. I think we should workshop it because I think
We
it would
should.
be good.
Yeah.
I think
Teaser
if we're
not doing that song. I apologize. It is a
listen,
great song.
it's a great song. I love Scenes from an Italian Restaurant. I also don't love doing an 8 minute long vocally intensive song.
It's very, yeah.
If it was like, because a lot of it is singing. There's like usually if we're doing a 7 minute or there's a lot of playing involved.
That's correct.
And there's a little break for me, but not in scenes.
No.
But
Yeah.
excellent. I would do it if it got requested though, but only if it gets requested because I think we
That's
could.
fair.
I also think that's a song. I don't know. I don't know if the young ones could pull it out.
Right.
I'm sure we could pull it out, but I don't know if.
Yeah, I can't say it would be good, but
I mean, we say that about any time we get a cover request, and
sure.
it's usually they're.
I
fine.
wouldn't be able to play the piano parts. I could play something that resembled the piano
I
parts
mean, you
based
could do
on
the
looking at the chord and right, like, but I wouldn't know how that went right away. I'd be like fucking around with the chords and hoping that I found the melody in there.
Yeah,
You know.
that's the fun part.
Yeah.
All right. Well, all that being said, go find your
Keith.
nostalgic album. Let us know what album you did eventually pick it because you do have this as homework.
I feel like I gave you some answers.
You gave me some answers.
I'm going with Vessel.
You go, but I want you to listen to it this week. Then
Okay.
I want us to be able to. We're not going to talk about it on this for a while. You have time before we talk about it on the podcast because of the time we're taking in between episodes right now. But
That's fair.
I want to hear you. I want to hear you as my friend. I want to hear about the nostalgic album because I got to listen to mine this week.
Okay.
It was the script. So, and I also listened to Glass Houses this week.
Nice.
So
That makes sense.
yeah,
That you would have.
well, that's why I go. So I'll tell you real quick before I let you go.
Go ahead.
I mentioned the middle-aged dad jam band to you.
The Bacon Brothers?
No, hilarious. There's a band on YouTube called the Middle-Aged Dad Jam Band. And there's like a couple of actors in it. They're good though. The guy can sing, and they released a video of them doing All for Lena, and I remembered how fucking good that song is. And I was like, damn, man, I haven't heard that entire album through in a while. And then I listened to it. It's so good.
It's a good one.
Oh, all right. All that to say, I will see you on Friday.
Excellent. It is 8 to 11, right? That's what our calendar says.
I'm almost positive it's 8 to 11. I'll check right now.
I hope so.
I would be shocked if it wasn't because I remember putting it that.
I would really like it to be 8 to 11. I mean, I would like it to be earlier, but I am like taking it 8 to 11. I'm like, at least it's not midnight or later.
October 3rd, 8 to 11. We're
Excellent.
good.
Excellent.
So,
great news.
Yeah. And we'll pack up quick. It's acoustic, so we'll be home by midnight.
Okay. That's what I like to hear.
Yep. All righty.
Okay, bye.
Goodbye. All right. I'm also out of here, peeps. This was fun, and we'll talk to you next time. Adios.